Hi everybody. We are here today and we're going to talk about MailChimp automations. So I like to call it embrace the chimp. So let's talk about how we can actually grow our business by using MailChimp automations, and in particular automation series. So what we're going to cover today is what is an automation, how do I automate, sign up forms and how they work, tips for successful automated emails, and tips to stay out of that naughty spam filter. So I'm Amanda Herr. I'm president of Digital Desk, and I provide social media support and training and website development, lead generation, and I'm also a speaker, and I speak around the US and around the world about digital marketing and its uses. So my background is I have 27 years in advertising and marketing. I spent 17 of those years at CNN, and I left them about 6 years ago, and I was vice president of advertising sales for the Midwest. I am also an adjunct professor at Macomb Community College here in Michigan. So I teach digital marketing here in Michigan. So what is an automation? According to MailChimp, a marketing automation is software that eliminates repetitive tasks and helps you build your brand, sell more stuff, which is what we all want to do. You can target people based on their behaviors, their activities, and also their purchases. So it's a really cool way of automating a conversation. For this specific webinar, we're really going to take a look at the onboarding series because that's what a lot of my clients are actually interested in. However, just know that there are automations in MailChimp that you can use for just about anything. So if you're looking to automate to a certain group of people who have purchased a certain product, you can actually do that. And by that, I mean send emails in sequences of emails. So to get them maybe to go from buying something smaller to something larger, you can actually use this for an educational program, all kinds of different things. So it's really exciting that MailChimp allows you to do this. I do want to note though that if you're going to do a automation, generally MailChimp in their new accounts is asking you to be a paid MailChimp account in order to get access to all of these different types of automations. And that's because they realized that people were doing a lot of these automations and using MailChimp for free and just keeping their base under 2,000, and so they never got paid. So now you may find that with some of these automations, you do have to have a paid account. And just as a fun little fact, this little dude here I found out while doing this webinar is actually named Freddie. So meet Freddie. Okay, now how do you automate? Well, it's pretty simple actually, and it's different ways for different things. So MailChimp choices. You want to make sure that you take the time to plan out why you're automating. First of all, figure out what is it that you're trying to do. Are you just trying to automate something and get it off your desk? If that's the case, you need to be careful on how you're actually going to automate so it doesn't look like that's all you're doing. You want to create a conversation with your automation. So if it's just automating a thank you because someone signed up for something, that's fine. But make it look like you spent some time on it so that they know that it's just, it's not just some automated thing that you don't really care that they just signed up for something. If you're automating a series, you're definitely going to want to know, why am I automating a series of emails? And if it's just to spam people, then you will definitely lose out in the end. So what is it that you're actually using this automation for? And then choose the type of automation that MailChimp gives you that's the best one for the goal that you're trying to reach. So there you go. Everything I just said. Creating conversation. What an automation provides you with is not just, hey, thanks for filling out my form. It provides you the opportunity to create a conversation with someone who is obviously interested in what you have to offer because they've come into your audience because they have opted in. They have self-chosen to be a part of this audience. If you are uploading names of people who don't know that they're going to be a part of your audience, that's a big no-no. And you could get in trouble not only from MailChimp, but from the government, because there are rules about that. So really, the people that are in your audience are people who have chosen to be in that audience. So that's a really good thing to remember, because again, if they're choosing to be a part of something that you have actually set up a form and an automation for, then that means that they're interested in your stuff, and you should be treating them with a little bit more respect than just a one-off, hey, thanks, with, nothing that looks nice. You want to give them, even if it's just a thank you email automation, give them the respect that they deserve. Okay, so the help method. So this is for an onboarding series. And like I said, we're going to focus on an onboarding series, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. But we're looking at a series of emails. So it's not just someone filled out a form and I'm sending them a thank you. I'm still going to do that. But I'm also going to give them some emails after that provide value for them. So the help method. Help, H, meaning hi, thank you for joining the list. Here's whatever you asked for, that kind of thing. So it's a hello type of thing. Educate. Here is where I'm actually going to educate the person. So they have a pain point. So for instance, someone that wants to learn how to do a MailChimp automation, as an example, they come into my list, I automate them back. Thank you, for joining my MailChimp automation list, right? And, I appreciate that you wanted the checklist. Here's the checklist. Then a day later, I send them an email and I say, did you know that when you use a MailChimp automation, you actually have the opportunity to open up a conversation? And here's how. So I give them something else that provides a solution that actually answers a pain point that helps them out. So, and it's free. And then the next one, the L, it's lend. So you're giving them something, again, free, that's going to help them move their business forward. So I might be giving them an ebook. I might be giving them something of value that someone actually might pay for. So it's not just a checklist. This is something, a product or a service type of item that someone actually might pay for, and you're giving it to them for free. So you're giving them some sort of a value, so that they are like, wow, Amanda really does care, right? She's not just asking me for money. And then the P is the purchase. So then you can send them an email and say, I hope you really liked whatever freebie it was. Now, if you would like to take it a step further, I do have, so maybe I send them my business manager class for free for Facebook. And then the next email I send them is, hey, you know what? I hope you really enjoyed that Facebook Business Manager mini course I gave you. If you really want to update or up your Facebook ads game, maybe you buy my whole Facebook ads course. So I gave them something for free, but now I'm offering them my $125 ads course, but I'm not asking them for money straight out the gate. This is what happens a lot of times with nonprofits, and it also happens with a lot of regular businesses. They'll get someone's name and they automatically have their hand out and they say, hey stranger, give me $10 or give me $100 or donate to my cause. And that person's like, I don't even know you. That's like walking up to someone on the street and asking a stranger for money. Would you do that? Most likely not. Would they give you money? Most likely not. So you don't want to do that. So use the help method and you will have better response. And then another thing that you can do is with the help method, maybe it's a smaller offering up front, and then you use another P for the larger offering. But when you stick with the HELP, you get more success from your onboarding series. Okay, so here, and you'll get this video as well if you email me and ask me for a copy of this presentation. But actually, I'll put that in the, I'm going to put that in the email that I send you. So anyway, okay, so here, the help method again, we're going to go and I'm going to show you, I'm going to hop on to MailChimp. Okay, so we're in MailChimp and I've chosen Automate, Email, and now I'm in this area here. And if I'm looking at Automated, you'll see here that I can choose any of these featured ones, but tags, anybody that's tagged a certain way, subscriber activity, e-commerce, date-based, happy birthday, right? Or API. But here I'm going to take a look at this welcome to new subscribers. This is actually the one that I want to focus on because it's the one that I'll use, and that's the one that actually trees up to a sign up form. So I can choose to send a single email or an onboarding series or an education series. So we'll talk about this in a minute, but you can actually use MailChimp in order to send out or drip through, drip meaning one every single day or one every couple hours, some sort of educational series. So you don't even need to necessarily have an educational platform. You can use MailChimp. So here's onboarding series. I'm going to give it a name, test, select my audience, and begin. So here I can edit my settings, all right, and then go back and I can start to do my actual email. So I can design my email, and we're not going to get too far into the design of the email, but I do want to say that the email subject should not be something like free webinar or download this or anything like that. We're going to talk about spam in a little bit, but that will throw you into the spam box, like for sure. So it should be something like, I'm glad you're a part of our team, or I'm glad that you made the list, or whatever it is that you want to say that doesn't sound spammy. And I'm going to have a list of spam words for you in a bit. But you can change the from name. Always have it come from a person. Don't have it come from a brand, because that is, again, a spam. That'll get you directly into the spam. But then you can come here and hit next. And you can choose one of these templates or choose a theme. And some of these themes are free, and then some are actually need an upgrade. I'm going to choose this one, this free one. And as it goes through, you can go and you can update this template to be more of your brand. And once it's actually downloaded, you can make it look more like your brand. Hit save and continue. And then you come back here and you're like, okay, I'm on number 2, number 3, and so forth. So I do want to point out, though, that the trigger here is immediately. So this one's sent out immediately when someone enters into your audience. You can change that, though. It can go hours, days, whatever you want it to be. You can do every day, all day long, or during certain times. You can do it by segmented tag and so forth. Same thing holds true here. When you're done with your series, and if I don't want all of these, I can actually come over here and click that and hit delete email. Or I could click here and add another email. But when you're done, you hit next, and because I didn't fill everything out, it's going to look all crazy. But if you're done, it'll say start sending down here at the bottom. And that's how your automation starts, and that's how the automation works. So that's how to actually implement the help method, and that video is actually right here as well. So sign up forms. So sign up forms are important. It's an important part of an automation. So knowing how to do a sign up form is important, and what to put on a sign up form is important. You want to make sure that your sign up form is adheres to your brand, looks like your brand, sounds like your brand, that you're not asking them for too much, because you know what, they don't like to give you more than maybe first name, last name, email address. Don't ask them their birth weight. Don't ask them how much they made last year. Just get the information that you need. Always put the first and the last name separate, because when you upload it into Facebook to try to do a custom audience, which is in a different training, when you do that, it does ask you for those two things separately. And you always want to mark the fields that you definitely want as required. So there is a quick video here to watch within this presentation, and it'll also be linked up. But I'm going to show you really quick where to get a sign-up form. So I'm going to come back over, exit without starting, and to get a sign-up form, I'm going to choose an audience, manage the audience, sign-up forms. So form builder is what we choose. And we want to just use a straight up sign up form. We don't necessarily need to, use any of these other things. So it's just the straight up sign up form. And we can come down here and we can edit and move and design just like we normally could with an email. Email address is always going to be in it because it's MailChimp, and then also it's always going to be required. So that's automatic. But you want to come over here and make sure like these things are required. First name, last name, required. They don't come out as required automatically. And then anything that you want to add, radial buttons, whatever you want, and then you can actually move those things around. Okay? But when you want to actually use this sign up form or have it placed somewhere, you can actually come here and copy that URL and use that URL. And there's also ways to actually embed it into Facebook, Twitter. There's a QR code here, which is kind of cool. And then down here, I do want to show you, this says register. It usually says subscribe. You don't want it to necessarily say subscribe all the time. So you can come over here and hit translate it. Come down here where it says subscribe and put what you want it to say. That's a big one. And then you have to hit save. And then design would be here. And you can, this is usually comes out like with a gray background on here, like right here. But I don't like gray, so I usually pick like white or whatever, but you can change it to whatever you want it to be. So you'll see that. Okay, so that's how you would do a sign up form. And then you would take this and actually put it where you want people to actually fill it out. And I do have to mention that different websites have you do stuff differently. So I can't really tell you how your website's going to do it, but I can tell you that that's where you get the information, and that's how to set up your sign up form. WordPress, there's generally a plugin. Other things, they generally tell you where to get that. Okay, so that's your sign up form. And then tips for success for your automated emails. So a successful automated email matches your brand, obviously. It's accessible. So one of the cool tips that I found was when you're writing from your email, hold it, take your cell phone, send it to yourself, hold it up and hold it at arm's length. You can't see that I'm doing that, but at arm's length. Can you read it? And if the answer is yes, then great. If you can't, then maybe up that font size for those people who may have older eyes. So you want to make sure it looks really good on mobile. Think about structure. So if it's short, use one column. If there's a ton of info, multi-column that. And then also use headers to help organize the content. And this over to the left is an example of a really good email and the way that it looks. Have fun with your design. If you're going to use pictures, you can get free pictures, by the way, from unsplash.com. But if you're going to use pictures, maybe make them full width, which you see here. It's a full width and it's like a larger photo rather than just that little box that you might get. Use color. Think about your font choice. And then include relevant information. So if you're asking them to take some sort of an action, make sure that you make it easy and that they can understand exactly what you're asking them to do. And then don't forget, which you don't see here on that screenshot, but don't forget to include your social on the bottom of it and make sure that they have an easy way to find you on all of the different platforms. So you want to humanize it with a kind of a fun tone or the tone of your brand. You're not a robot, so speak normally. Schedule time for routine maintenance of your automated emails so that you can make sure they're still relevant, and also clean out your list so that You're not sending it to a bunch of people who haven't interacted with you in a long time. So, because you know what that's going to do? A, ignore, it's going to annoy them, but B, it's going to tell spam filters that nobody opens your stuff. So the spam filter is going to kick you out and go, these people don't deserve to be in someone's inbox. And you want to make sure that you're taking a look at your analytics. Are people opening your email? Are they clicking on the stuff that you're asking them to do? Because if the answer to both of those things is a no, or to one of those things that's no, let's think about why. Is it the structure? Is it the way that you're saying it? Is it the color choice? Is it the content? But email is only as good as what you create, and spam filters are computers. So if you aren't getting through a spam filter, then it's kind of your fault. And but also, I would say if people aren't interacting with your content, that's also your fault. So make sure you're taking a look and figuring it out. Like, why aren't they actually interacting with your stuff? So here's a few tips on staying out of the spam filters. So like I said, don't ever send anything from like office at Higher Digital Desk or, anything that isn't personal. You want it to be personal. Don't use all caps in your subject line. Don't do it. And don't use excessive punctuation, so no exclamation points. Watch heavy videos, or by heavy I mean like they take a lot of data. They're like big videos. You want to embed those. Don't use spammy words like free, urgent, apply now, click below. Down there you'll see there's a URL to actually go to, and it's got like I think 100 or 1,000 or something words that are spammy words to stay away from. So use that. Email copy checker. You can go to that URL and actually look and use that copy checker. Put your copy in there, and it's going to tell you if it's spammy or not. Don't use a lot of text on your images. No more than 20% of your image should be covered in text. Don't have attachments. And if you really want to blow your mind and like totally nerd out, because I understood what they were saying, but I was like, holy heck, go to this mailworm blog that I put down here, because there is a way to really get deep into how to get away from the spam filter, but you have to be someone who's pretty comfortable with technology. So I'm giving you the top line. That blog is going to give you the deep down. So that's what I have for you as far as MailChimp and automations. I hope it was helpful. There's a lot of information, I know. You can watch this over and play around with your emails. Feel free to put me on your email lists so that I can see what you guys are doing. And I did want to mention that we're moving from the platform of Zoom next week, and we're going to move this over to Facebook Live and YouTube Live and Twitter Live. So we'll be going live next Friday, May 8th, and you can watch from the Facebook page, Higher Digital Desk. Twitter's also Higher Digital Desk. It's all Higher Digital Desk, but you can watch from there. You don't have to register. The only thing that you would have to register for is if you do want to get a copy of the presentations that I do every week, and you want to get the videos, then you would have to register, because I will send that out to you. We'll have an automated way to do that up and running hopefully by next week. The other thing that I wanted to mention was that we're going to do this every single week, and I have actually a schedule that we're going through. By we, I mean me and my assistant, and we're going to go through this. We have it scheduled all the way through September, so that calendar is going to be available on the new website, higherdigitaldesk.com. We're getting that ready and getting that up, and then we'll have the actual recordings available there as well. As they come through and we get them up on the website. There might be a little lag time to that, but we'll have them there as well. You'll just have to fill in your information. So if you wouldn't mind, if you could follow me at Higher Digital Desk on all of my socials, I would really appreciate that. And the other thing is next week, we're going to go over a Google business page, why you should have them and why you should care, because it is really important. And we're also going to talk about the knowledge, I think it's called the knowledge frame, but it's what Google does for your business if you don't have a Google business page. And it's not great, I mean, it's fine, but you want to make sure you control your own information. So that's that. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. And email me at Amanda@HigherDigitalDesk if you have any questions about this recording. Thanks, guys. Take care.